What's going on, Imperials? It's Emperor Cubone here. Having gym leaders or Elite Four members to fill out a region is part of what makes it worthwhile. And the same is true for the Kalos region. Despite not being that difficult, I do like most of the type specialists that we got to see. But it's also not really that diverse. We see that altogether, Kalos gave us 12 overt type specialists, leaving vacancies for the types of Ghost, Flying, Ground, Poison, Dark, and Normal. And since we know that Kalos has been around for at least 3,000 years, it's all but certain that these types would have been covered at some point. So, let's see what they might have been. Just to start off, Kalos does make things interesting, since its new offerings are rather outweighed by the past repeats flooding the region. So there will be a mixture in these teams, but we will of course strive to feature the Pokémon introduced within the region as much as we can. So first I would say is probably the Flying type gym, since there's not a lot to choose from that's not already prominently used by someone else. So firstly I would say that an early gym could work in Aquacord Town, since there's really no reason to ever return to this town, or even remember it really other than getting your starter there. So having a gym that lets you double back to there, and gives you an excuse to go back and talk to Mom, doesn't seem so bad. But seeing as how this would obviously be an early gym, I think that we can go ahead and state that Fletchinder would be a good first team member. As well as Noibat, since it is a primary flying type, and you won't be seeing it for another few hours later of game time anyway. I would like a Skarmory, but that's probably too tough for early on, so we can settle for Drifloon. And really, with the Kalos region's gimmick, it would make total sense to me if each of the gym leaders had their own Mega Evolution. For the flying one, I would say that Mega Pinsir, who adds the flying typing, would be good. But again, that's probably a little overpowered, so maybe just save that for the Battle Chateau post-game battle or something like that. The leader here would be Aria, who, very fittingly for Kalos, is a Sky Trainer, and the entire gym would force you into Sky battles. But don't worry, they would have wind tunnels to support non-flying Pokémon in case your team wasn't built for that. Once you reach the end in your own flight suit to beat Aria, she will give you the Glide badge and the TM for Acrobatics. The next available location is Campfryer Town, where I would place a Poison gym. Not that it fits the homey town perfectly or anything, but truthfully, Poison can't be too late in your journey, because there weren't a lot of new poison types of note in Kalos. So starting with the one and only poison type, Skrelp, we could add in others like Whirlipede and Gulpin to help round out the team. I'd also say that Venusaur could be a good Mega, since it's one of the only 2 poison Megas introduced in X and Y. The leader here would be Iris, a plucky young historian who looks into the past of the castles nearby to Campfryer Town. And her gym would be dressed up like the old days as well, with trainers jumping out of suits of armor and tapestries. Fighting to the leader Iris will get you the Venom badge and the TM for Clear Smog. And maybe the HM for Cut, but you would probably just be able to get the Pokéflute instead. Up next is the beautiful Ambrette Town, and given its arid aesthetic and the fossil research that takes place there, I think the Ground gym could be the right fit here. The leader for the Ambrette gym, I think, would be yet another woman named Sahara. She would be one of the famed Rhyhorn riders, which goes perfectly with the Route 9 nearby. That obviously means Sahara would have a Rhyhorn on her team, maybe as an ace, along with a Hippopotas and a Diggersby. And if we're doing Megas, Garchomp would be a great ground one to use. The inside of the gym would have you ride a Rhyhorn through various obstacles, trying to avoid the trainers. But once you finally reach the end and beat the leader, she will give you the Dune badge and the TM for Bulldoze. And even though it's not an HM in Kalos, I'm going to go ahead and say that Sahara would also catch up with you and give you Rock Smash. For the next gym, I would go all the way over to Dindamil Town, which is just stunning. But since the Ice type is already taken, I would opt for the Ghost type. I feel that this small town is mysterious and honestly kind of empty enough to make that work. The leader here would be Lazarus, a rather pale, gaunt man that can be unsettling to some, but has a great mastery over the Ghost typing. For his team, he should have a Trevenant and a Doublade for some serious bulk, And probably for that late in the region, he could have a Golurk as well. And I feel that he could actually get away with having a Mega in his standard gym when you first arrive. But I think Mega Bayonet would be a perfectly creepy fit. The insides of the gym would basically be a dilapidated graveyard covered in fog that has trainers lying in wait behind gravestones and mausoleums. You would fight your way up to the hill to a moonlit battle, which I think would be enough of a visual treat, even if it doesn't match the overly complicated measures most Kalos gyms seem to have. But if you beat Lazarus, he'll give you the Phantom Badge and a TM for Ominous Wind. That will bring us all the way to Campfryer Town, where I would place the normal type gym. And you guessed it, the theme here would be trains. That's right, I'm saying that the abandoned train station doesn't go to the Galar region, but rather used to be a Pokémon gym. You would jump into the cars and ride the rails to battle other trainers until you get through a secret waterfall tunnel that takes you back outside to face the leader, Eugene. This man is a train conductor and an expert in the normal typing, with teammates like Furfrou, Delcatty, Zangoose, and of course it would be a prime opportunity to unleash Mega Kangaskhan onto poor, unsuspecting trainers. But if you beat Eugene's team, he will give you the primary badge and the TM for Dizzy Punch. And of course, the last type that has gone unrepresented in the Pokemon League in Kalos is Dark. Now we could slide Lysander in here because he's got the team for it, but I wouldn't want evil team gym leaders to become a trope. So instead, I would say the Dark-type specialist should be a woman named Sandra. But more importantly, I think she would be an Elite Four member. First of all, we have some great new options in the Kalos region, with the likes of Malamar and Pangoro for a strong base. But we could also include a starter of the region, since Greninja is also a Dark-type. You could also throw on some older Pokemon like Liepard or Sableye, but the sad truth is that Kalos Elite Four members have very small teams. So if we can only add one more, it better be Mega Tyranitar, just to show everyone how powerful Sandra can be. I was honestly surprised that there were enough extra towns that didn't already have gyms. And I'm sure that there will be people offering up suggestions of other characters, which I welcome. But for right now, I think that this list is a solid representation of what the Kalos region is missing. What do you think of the missing Kalos type specialists? Let me know down in the comments. Also be sure to leave a like, share this video, and subscribe so that you too can become an Imperial today. And we'll see you around next time!